Hey guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive717. I am back with another video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get comfortable here because obviously I feel like, the last video kind of stirred up some stuff. And I mean, it's all love, and I think it's important for all of us to share our experiences because, all of our twin flame journeys are really unique and we all have different situations, and that's because we've all gone through very unique upbringings that have played a major role in how we are individually as people. And so I just want to, first of all, thank everyone who respectfully participated in the discussion and for sharing your thoughts as well. Because, I just want to share some of my experiences to maybe let you guys know why I had some of the perspectives that I had in the last video about reaching out. For me personally, I was there once. I'm a woman with pride too. I'm Trini, so, I got that Trini pride thing going on, as me and a dear friend of mine would like to say. And, it makes me think of my mom too growing up, because for me, I would have, that sort of arrogance about me where, I'll just say it in Trini like my mom would, where I wouldn't let no man bust no style on me. And that's what my mom used to say. You don't go chasing down no man. Let them come to you. And, for me, I just kind of grew up with that mentality, and I was very reserved growing up, and I always had this knowing that it's very much within the feminine tendency to sit back and be courted, and this is just natural. And it's not only your divine masculines who want to court you feminines, it's many masculine energies around you. And so I've grown up with that bit of hot-headedness about me, and I can be very quick-tempered as well. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times that my masculine have gotten into heated discussions and my mouth has got so carried away with me, and at times I found myself questioning, like, wow, who's the divine masculine here? And I've had to be the one to reach out and apologize, and I've been in situations where I've completely ghosted him and gone silent. And I think many of us are in this dynamic as well, where we can see ourselves switching in and out of the different roles, but it's all happening for a great sense of purpose and learning. And I think it's to really help us end those cycles that we're experiencing, waiting around and waiting for this person to make the move, and you should make that move, and you should do this and you should do that. Well, you're the man, it's your role to do this, and you're the woman, you should be doing this. I think twin flames really destroy all of those concepts, period, and we're here to build about new paradigms. And in my experience, I just am a very straight up person, and I believe in open communication. And with that being said, I think a great tip to keep in mind is when you're communicating with someone, and in our case with our divine masculines, we can actually look at how we communicate with them and whether or not they're in a reactive state or in a calm state. So when you're speaking to someone and they're in a very reactive state, you can always anticipate that they might say things that are out of line. They might say things that they don't mean because they're in a fight or flight reaction mode right now. And so when they're reactive, they will panic and say things that aren't said with a lot of clarity. But when I've had conversations with my masculine where we disagree or we just have a difference of opinion, how we were able to move past, the ghosting and not being able to clearly communicate was my ability to just speak my truth, have a disagreement with him, and then I wouldn't necessarily sit around and wait for him to message me. I would just send him a message and speak my truth. I mean, yeah, of course, there were tons of times where I didn't get a response, or he would just go silent even more and the separation went on, but I felt good just speaking my truth and my authenticity, and knowing that I was just destroying the paradigms of feeling like I was chasing him. I eventually started to realize that showing up for someone, whether the weather is good outside or bad outside, is what this journey is all about. And unconditional love transforms. I mean, it certainly transformed me. And it's certainly a lot easier to remain open and honest with someone rather than constantly getting triggered by a lot of the pain that they're going through. Sometimes you just gotta step away and do your own thing and live life and remain open and loving. And that's the epitome of the feminine energy, because getting triggered to lower vibrational states, even with like your masculine, I don't allow anybody to bring me to a lower vibrational state, to feeling like they need to do this and they need to do that. But no, I don't engage in that stuff. It's like I'm very open and I have a lot of love to give. And when you're in a twin flame connection, your masculine is very aware of this, always waiting for you to speak your mind constantly, because that's the feminine strength. She's not afraid in that way. She's not afraid to lose the connection because she's speaking her truth, or she's afraid to appear that she's, chasing him down, or he'll be turned off. It's your twin flame, guys. They are being healed every time that you stand in this love and the authenticity of this love. You're setting an example, because what you're doing is you're saying that you're not afraid of the world and you're not afraid of him. And in turn, he starts stepping into that energy, because what you do for yourself, you will do for your twin. They start stepping forward and reaching out more, and they're not so scared of rejection, because sometimes too, like after a separation, they don't reach out because they're so scared that you're going to do the same or treat them in the same way that they've treated you by not responding or continuing to ghost them, which I have also done. And believe me, they get over it and it transforms them and it destroys their pride. So many of you are, I think you're still in that sort of negative self-talk where you do think that you appear in like this weaker energy if you decide to message your masculine and speak your truth or speak about your feelings. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that takes courage and strength, and I don't think that you're being crazy in any way for being open to whatever consequences come your way. I think it takes a lot of faith in this journey to really go to those places, because it's all a learning ground, right? Earth is this big playground, and if we don't act now, be bold and take the risks, then I feel like sometimes we stay stuck in those repeating cycles that keep us feeling very negative and feeling like, when will this ever end, or when will it ever grow, or when will there be some kind of positive movement forward. Sometimes you have to create that positive movement forward. Okay, so we have the Five of Chalices. And so a lot of changes when it comes to love in this heart space. And I feel like the feminine's taking that lead in all of that change. She's being more passionate. The flame is right behind her. And you could see sometimes, too, with this card, I feel like the uncertainty of, oh my goodness, is it okay that I'm taking charge in this passion? But yes, of course, with the 5 coming in, yes, you will experience changes when it comes to matters of the heart, because you're literally flipping the script and tearing it apart and destroying it. And we're saying no more assigning men are this way and women are that way. We're all human, and we all have tendencies of both genders, both energies. Oh, one fell on my lap here. So we've got the Hangman. So a lot of contemplation right now over the feminine, going through this bold, brave energy. And sometimes, again, they're in silence, they're in contemplation, enlightenment, sacrifice. So the Hangman talks all about seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things that others can't see. And many times on the twin flame journey, that's through experience. The twin flame journey is all about going against the grain. And for many of the feminines, if you'll notice, her hands are tied here in the image. I feel like many feminines have had their hands tied for too long. And when you're on this journey and you're forced into a place of contemplation, you will find you're always in a set of circumstances that it almost seems impossible to step out into the public eye about what it is we're going through, because it's very difficult for people to understand. And that can also send you into a state of limbo and stagnant energy, which is why you have to sort of break free away from society's expectations and all of your programming and conditioning in order to move the connection forward. And that could be in whatever way, shape, or form. That's why you have to know your connection, you have to know yourself, and you have to know your heart and what it is you're meant to do. Sometimes you might get that inkling again to reach out to your counterpart or to say something loving or to be there, and then what ends up coming into your mind is a lot of very low vibrational negative energy that really blocks you from doing that, because what you start doing is putting up walls to protect yourself, because you start anticipating the worst. And that's how you know that lower energies are trying to sort of weave itself into the connection. Always pay attention to what makes you feel good, what makes you feel high vibrational, what makes you feel positive, empowered. Okay. So we've got the Sun card coming out. So I feel like the Sun card comes out as a beautiful reminder to let us know that all is well. It's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to go against the grain and live in love, because you know what this card tells me is love is leading the way on this twin flame journey. And what that's doing is it's destroying a lot of the blocks that many of us are feeling, a lot of the resistance towards this connection. Many of the feminines, I feel, have really held themselves back from being very nurturing and loving the way they would like to be, because they're so afraid of being judged. There's a very great strength in holding space and loving someone unconditionally on this earth at this time, because the body is just the vehicle. Really, it's the soul connection that we feel to another that lets us know that there's something unique here that we're experiencing.